Okay, so on this one, we are lucky here. They give it to us in a nice reduced form where we've got our second derivative. So what I'm going to use is the zero product property to check each individual piece and see if it's equal to 0. So 3x equal to 0, well, that means that x would have to be 0. So that would be a potential point of inflection that we would have there. Then I would do x minus 4 squared is equal to 0. And so when I take the square root of both sides, I still end up with x minus 4 is equal to 0. So x has to be equal to a 4. And so then the final piece is this x plus 7 cubed. And I would want to look and see where this is equal to 0. So I take the cube root and I'm left with x plus 7 is equal to 0, which x is equal to a negative 7. So I can't just leave it like that and say that those are going to be points of inflections. I would need to test it. So at this point I would put in 0, 4, and a negative 7 on my number line. And I would want to test each spot. So if I'm going to choose something smaller than a negative 7, let's just choose a negative 8. So negative 8 plus 7 is a negative 1 cubed becomes a negative. Negative 8 minus 4, that's a negative 12. Well, that's squared, so that's got to be positive. And then 3x times 3 times a negative 8 is a negative 24. So a negative times a positive becomes a positive over here. So then between negative 7 and 0, let's choose negative 1. So that gives me 3 times a negative 1, which is a negative. Negative 1 minus 4 is a negative 5, but we square it, so that's positive. And then negative 1 plus 7 is a positive 6, and cubed, that's a positive. So that has to be a negative in between negative 7 and 0. Now I'm just going to choose 1, and they're all going to end up being positive. And then if I choose something that is bigger than 4, like 5, what I'm going to get is a positive, positive, and a positive, which leaves us with a positive. So my points of inflection only occur when there's a sign change. That would be at negative 7 and 0.